Fearless.
Chase.
Bold.
Following.
Courageous.
Search. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Marshall.
And this is
Undaunted
Pursuit. Yo, what's going on?
Oh, living the dream.
Oh man, you're in a different spot this week, aren't you?
I'm in a different spot this week. Because of my lovely back and the issues that I have been on, I'm in my recliner in my living room, and you're seeing
Man,
a
that
shelf
looks
that's behind me, yeah, and then a little bit that little deal over there. It says "Welcome." That's by the front door. That's where we hang all of our hats and coats.
oh nice. Well, awesome.
We haven't taken our.
Well, I guess
Christmas
it's
tree
got to be a
down
little
yet.
bit more. Oh shoot, we did that. We just did that over the weekend. So, well, heck, I'm glad that it worked out. I'm glad that this finally worked out. We tried doing this yesterday, and man. So, everybody, welcome back to Undaunted Pursuit. We took a week off, and now we're back at it. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Oh man, there was like I don't know how long of a pause that was. Had to been like a 5-second pause before you were able to answer.
Right now, there's a pause.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Jeez. Yeah, and I've got all my anything that doesn't need to be attached to the internet is not. So I don't know. Again, if it's us or something else, like me, or maybe it's something else. Heck, I don't.
Lovely internet.
Going through my notes.
Yeah.
Good old notes.
Are you?
No, I got
I
stuff.
said that a long time ago.
Oh, really? I don't know why it's so bad. That's crazy.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to be walking all over each other tonight.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah, I heard that one.
I don't know, man. And actually, my internet should be faster because I'm closer to the router, so it should be better.
Yeah, I don't know if it works that way. The closer you are to it, the faster it gets. You should put the router right on top of your computer. There's a lot of air. There's a lot of airspace in between here and Texas, though.
There is, and that could be. I wonder if we started this. If I opened things up and sent you the request, I wonder how that would affect it. Or is that possible? Is it only up there that we can do that?
Well, no. You've got the login information. You could always switch it around. But the only problem is that you'd have to send me the files.
That's true. Let's wait till I get my new computer first.
Oh, no, hold on. No, you wouldn't have to, because then I could just log on and I could download it on my computer. No problem.
That'd work.
Okay. So I have a little bit of a story here, Marshall. So it was probably several months ago that our KitchenAid mixer, I don't know if you've got one or not, but it went on the fritz. Okay. I'm answering your chat right there. So anyway,
that way we don't talk over each other.
Okay. All right. So anyway, this KitchenAid mixer goes on the fritz. The gears got all stripped out on it, and we've replaced the gears on it and everything. Now the little slider switch on there is real finicky. You gotta just play with it to make it work right. It's a really nice mixer, but I think me and Ashley were talking about it. It's over 10 years old. So anyway, I get home tonight from work, and there's a box sitting on the front porch, and it says KitchenAid stand mixer on it. And I'm like, no way, come on. It's like, for one, when did Ashley order this? And two, it's like, I didn't. So I walk up to the box. Either way, I walk up to the box and it says "Merry Christmas, Shadaisky family. Love Jesus." And I was like, "What?" I was like, I open up the front door and I'm like, "Ashley, do you see this sitting on the front porch?" And she's like, "Yes, it's too expensive, and I don't know who to send it back to." But we got blessed today with a not just a regular original, not just an original KitchenAid stand mixer. This is like the creme de la creme stuff. It's a KitchenAid professional uh Pro 5 series, something like that. Anyway, it's not cheap, let me tell you. So whoever, and I'm almost certain that they may listen to the podcast. Either way, if you are listening and you dropped this thing off at our house today, thank you. And I just want to put that out there publicly that our family thanks whoever dropped that off at our porch. I mean, if it was Jesus, we're always thanking Jesus, and who are we to get that kind of a gift from him? But if you know how Ashley is, she does a lot of baking, so of course this is definitely a well needed gift. I mean, it's kind of that's a lot. It's actually incredibly surprising. So thank you to whoever dropped that off at our house.
That's pretty amazing. What a huge blessing that somebody did that for you guys. Um, God knows what you need and when you need it. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. But we do have a KitchenAid mixer. I bought my wife one a year, maybe 2 years ago, brand new from KitchenAid, and it's like a pink color. That's what she wanted. And like you said, they are expensive. They're
Mm-hmm.
not cheap. They are a well built small appliance. So that is so I understand. I get receiving a gift like that, let's say of that magnitude, um, is awesome, and especially for y'all because, like you said, Ashley cooks all the time, bakes all the time. She's always making something, so I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
y'all use the heck out of one of those mixers. So that's pretty awesome. Praise God on that.
Yeah, we definitely use and abuse that thing. I mean, it grinds, it shreds all of our cheese, it mixes all of our bread, all of our bread dough, and the sky's the limit on that thing. It gets used. It's the most used appliance in our whole kitchen, aside from the oven and the stove. And not to mention, whoever did this knows the inside of our house colors because it matches. See this color behind me, Marshall? It's that color.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's
I
awesome.
don't know if
Kind of
that's
turquoise.
coincidence. I don't know if that's coincidence. Yeah, but it for it if it's a coincidence, that's a really good coincidence. So again, thank you to whoever done that.
That's awesome.
What was
So,
that?
Aaron, how was y'all's New Year's? What'd y'all do?
It was good. It was again as usual. This lag time is killing me. Um, no, the New Year's was great. We just hung out as a family, and um, actually, my oldest went to a youth lock-in at church, which he had a blast. But let me tell you, Wyatt gets home from that youth lock-in Sunday, and he falls asleep sometime Sunday afternoon. I don't know. Either way, dude stayed up almost all night, and the next day slept for 12 hours straight without waking up.
Oh yeah, I remember when I could do that back in the day. Well, kind of. I actually did recently. I went and hung out with some friends of mine for New Year's because my wife is doing some house and pet sitting for her family in East Texas, and so um, I went down to visit them. Well, New Year's Eve, I stayed with them until midnight, and then I had about a 2 hour drive afterwards, so I didn't get home until 2 o'clock in the
Dang.
morning, and I probably didn't get to bed till probably 2:30, maybe
Mm-hmm.
close to 3 o'clock in the morning. So usually I don't do that because I just can't hang anymore like I used to. But um, I remember one time in high
Mm-mm.
school, and I think you were there. We went to Nathan's house, Nathan Rickmeyer, and I think you were there. and
Oh.
we were supposed to go TPing houses,
Uh,
and we never did because because there were so many cops out. But we were up till 5 o'clock in the morning that night. Uh, but yeah, I remember that. It's kind of kind of funny.
I may have been there for that one. Heck, I don't know. Um, I did that a lot as a kid. I just can't do it anymore. Heck, let's see the little babies, the little kids that were still at the house. They ended up falling asleep at, I don't know, 8 o'clock. Ashley was out before then, and so me and Austin, my second oldest, he was up till we made it till probably about 11 o'clock, and then it's like, all right, I'm done. There's nothing special. We were just watching a movie, and we ended up going to bed.
Yeah, that's usually what Kelsey and I do. We usually don't make it till midnight.
No, getting too old for that. You know what else I'm getting too old for is it is like the need to actually party hard on any of that stuff. I don't mind a drink here and there, whatever, but boy, I don't need to do that whole bit of heavy drinking, you know.
No, I mean when I was down there with my friends, they had some champagne, but I just had juice with the kids because I had a 2 hour drive. I was like, I don't want any alcohol in my system. And me, I tell you what, when I'm tired and I'm driving, I will
Mhm.
fall asleep at the wheel. It happens all the time. It's a miracle from God that I have not gotten in an accident and died. Um, so I'm thinking if I have any bit of alcohol in my system and I start swerving and a cop pulls me over, it's gonna be a bad night for
Yeah.
me. So I don't mess with it.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, that was the perfect um lead into like the next order of business that I want to get to today. So, during our break, or at least some point while we weren't doing a podcast, um, you know how when you pull up Google, that there's little articles that kind of show up, kind of geared to whatever, just like little
Yeah.
obscure news articles and stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
And so I come across one, and I sent it to you. I thought it's the most outrageous thing, but who would have known that? Okay, Marshall, did you know? Speaking of driving, that this article, the title of the article, and I'm not gonna pull it up because one, it's already gone done and passed and everything, but the title of the article is people who skipped their COVID vaccine are at higher risk of traffic accidents, according to a new study.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you did send that to me. When I read that, I just started laughing real loud. I couldn't. And the fact that that's a true story, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, really? I mean, come on. Golly.
What I mean, is that what it's come down to now? Is now you weren't getting the reaction from the vaccine as it was, so now you got to make it like it's the end all be all save all people. Oh, okay, so this is going to save you from the virus. Now it's going to save you from car wrecks. So if you get this, if you've gotten your vaccine, don't worry about getting into car wreck ever again. According to this new study, you won't.
You're immortal. You're gonna live forever. Nothing can kill you now. So I wish I would have got it.
Immortal.
I
Exactly.
should have got
At
it.
least at least not a traffic accident, right? No more traffic accidents. I thought that was just the stupidest article.
It really is. That's nuts.
I know it. So, oh, well, we'll have to change out our outro, Marshall, because we're already starting 2023 off in a good way with the podcast and everything here pretty soon. The Undaunted Pursuit podcast, or Undaunted Pursuit company, will have, and is under construction, is a new website, is under construction. And we do have a new email, and I'll mention it briefly. It's going to be mail at undauntedpursuit.com. So there's a little bit of exciting news there as far as the company is concerned. And so, yeah, I'm excited about it. We're making headway, and hopefully the website will be up and going here in the very near future within a month or two, and working on another exciting news, so that we won't say anything else about that yet, because I haven't really. We're still working on some things, another side project for Undaunted Pursuit Productions. So we got some ambitions. What do you, Marshall, think that we should strive for in this new year that we're in? What should we strive for on our podcast here?
Well, I think, um, you know, I want to obviously I want to keep doing what we're doing, but I really want to see this podcast kind of blow up, and not for the fame or the money or anything like that. I just want to get the word out there. I want to get God's word out there, and the more people that listen and then hear what we have to say and hear God's word, hear the gospel truth, the better. And that's what we need. So
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, we can't do that without our listeners. We can't do that without people, you know, becoming a part of Undaunted Pursuit podcast. And Undaunted Pursuit is a company. We're going to need support. We're going to need help. We're going to need sponsors. We're going to need y'all's help as listeners to help us get there. Um, but that's what we want. I want to see, the Undaunted Pursuit. We're a family, and so I want to see the listeners. Y'all are a part of this family, and we can't do this without y'all.
Mm-hmm.
There was, it takes a village. It takes many people to get the word out there. It's not just one person. There's thousands and millions of people in the world spreading the gospel. Well, we need those. We need that help as well to get God's word out there. So I just want to see this podcast grow and become something more. And I really want to, I looking forward to maybe some new things going on, and um, just some new exciting stuff happening in the mix. Uh, I don't know. I think God's going to do something in 2023. I'm just having faith and trusting in Him. Aaron is working incredibly hard, to do a lot of things to get things running. He's been on the ground, feet on the ground, running like crazy ever since this thing started. So props to Aaron on that. And but due to his hard work and God, I think things are gonna pick up and Lord willing, really blow up. And that's kind of what I want to see, though.
I hear that. Yeah, and what I'd like to see is, and going back to that, it does start with you guys, the listeners. We want to be more engaged. We're not doing this just to we're not doing this just to talk to each other. I could talk to Marshall on the phone, which we do on a very regular basis. We're doing this to spread God's word and to interact with people. The amount of contacts that we've made through this past year have been amazing. I mean, we got some amazing things coming up. We've got uh, some exciting guests that are going to be on that in the next couple. Well, there's at least one really cool treat that I have for everybody coming up here next week, which that episode will post a week after that. So here in a couple weeks for you, those of you listening. And I'm in discussions with another group of people that I'd like to have on, and that's where it's getting bigger. So excuse me. So yeah, I would like to see more interaction. You guys interact with us on social media, interact with us on through our email. Tell us what you guys want to see. Tell us what you guys want to cover. And yeah, I've heard good things about doing live podcasts, and I'd like to kind of get into that at some point, Marshall, in 2023, at doing a live, either question and answer live study. We'll see how that works out. We'll have to work the details out on that, but that's kind of where I see it going and growing.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, little technical difficulties there, but our connection is a little better now.
Good deal. That's what we need.
Yeah, because now I can hear you better. There's not so much of a lag and everything like that, and so yeah, we're good.
Well, and also before your video was very blurry. I couldn't hardly see you, so now it's clear. So
Oh, good, perfect. All right, so I'm sorry, Marshall, because I didn't hear you, but everybody else will hear you. What were you saying?
oh, I was saying that if well, I'm really looking forward to getting some video going on our YouTube page and other social media outlets this year. So Aaron and I have been looking for someone to do that kind of stuff for us. I've been trying to do it. I don't know if it's my wheelhouse or not. Not that I'm not still going to try to learn how to do that. But in the time being, if there's anybody out there listening who is good at video editing and wants to contact us and reach out to us, and you can help us out, want to donate some of your time to us and help us get some of these videos up and going. We've got a bunch of them we can piece together and get them up on YouTube so you guys can put a name to a face, which I think will help you guys relate to us. And it's nice to know who you're talking to and what that person looks like. This way, you guys will be able to do that and relate to us on a different level, on a more personal level, which I think will be good. So, again, if there's anybody out there who is a talented video editor, please reach out to us through our email, Facebook, any of our platforms, and give us a holler because we need your help.
And don't be expecting a whole lot of cash because we've got some other things we're working on, and actually we just need you to kind of do this out of the goodness of your heart until this kind of takes off, because our budget is not very huge right now because we're just a bunch of poor broke dudes trying to spread God's word.
Yeah. Hence the word donate. Donate your time, because we need it. Yeah, like Aaron
right.
said, we're not rolling in the cash right now. Eventually, things will change one of these days, but for the time being, we just need some help. So if you're willing to donate your time and your talents, it's no different than donate your time and talents at the church. It's kind of the same deal. If you're able to do it, great. If you don't want to, I get it. I understand.
Yep.
It's time consuming. But we'd love to talk to you. So anyway, that's all I got.
Of course, as you know, Marshall, I've got plenty of other little side projects for a videographer, video editor, video anything, cinematographer, however you want to call it. Just as well as I do that I'm working on some other things that I could use somebody like that on my side. So
yeah, Aaron's got some special projects in the works right now. Yeah. So we can keep a videographer busy. There's no doubt.
No doubt. Okay, I got to tell you about this last podcast. So one thing I want to kind of give you. There's one thing that my second oldest, Austin, he loves like getting massages and stuff like that. So we were at where was that? Was that Ross? It was Ross. And let me tell you, Marshall, you weren't joking about them stinking massage guns. We bought him one for his birthday, and I think we use it just as much as he does.
I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you, we've got two of them.
It's awesome. Those things I'd never. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we've got two of them. Yeah, my wife's parents bought us one, and then my wife and I bought one from Best Buy. We had a really good deal on it, and so we use the heck out of those things. Especially I do with my back and my muscles that get all tight all the time. Man, those things, they'll beat you up. They'll beat you up, but they feel so amazing.
Yeah, they are awesome. So that being said, I labeled when we put out the podcast episode, it was something around the lines. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up again. But anyway, the last part of the title of the last episode was a masseuse that always has an opening. Okay. Well, I did not realize, and I'm leaving it alone because it's funny, because I just got to put this out here, that when I said masseuse, I'm thinking like a massage therapist, a massage person, somebody, whatever. But I was informed over Christmas, over our Christmas party at with my job. We had a little Christmas party, and his daughter, which is in college, she's studying kinesiology and all that stuff, and she's like, no, a masseuse is that person that it's where you go to get a happy ending, and a massage therapist is one that like works out of works out of like an office. It's like what you would normally pay to go get an actual massage. And I was like, no way. I was like, come on, I'm running a Christian. We're running a Christian podcast here, and I just labeled this thing a masseuse that always has an opening because we were talking. Because we were talking about this massage gun,
Oh my goodness, my cheeks hurt right now. That's too funny. So, I didn't know that. I use the term masseuse all the time, so I'm gonna stop doing that.
No, yeah, don't say I went to a masseuse. You might get arrested for like prostitution or something crazy like that. Who knows?
Oh my goodness.
soliciting a prostitute, or I don't know. But yeah. Wow. I couldn't. I was like, no way, come on. I completely didn't realize that when we labeled the last episode that's what that meant. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, needless to say, Aaron and I are not going around visiting masseuses or a masseuse by any means. We're both happily married individuals, so don't worry about that. Now, massage therapist, by all means, I'll go to that.
There you go.
I'm not trying to go to masseuse.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we better get into the last little bit of Luke chapter 4, which is what we're looking at tonight. It feels like it's been forever since we got into it. We better continue with it. Yeah. So last we left off, are you ready to get into this, Marshall?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, last we left off, Jesus had, hold on. Let me open the Bible up here because Jesus just getting driven out of his hometown, and he's coming down out of the hills into Capernaum, which that's kind of where we left off. And so now he's in Capernaum.
Oh, so around chapter...
And I think that starts...
31, verse 31. At least, yeah, it should be verse 31. Yeah. Where he teaches with authority.
Yeah, so he's left... He was this... Right. This mob wanted to kill him, wanted to hurl him off off of this cliff, and he does this miracle, just like it was like an unexpected miracle that he just kind of passed through the crowd and went on his way. So now he's going down to Capernaum and is going to go to the synagogue there and teach. And so here he is. He's teaching them on the Sabbath day. As we progress through into 32, it says, and they were surprised, almost overwhelmed at his teaching, because of his message was given with authority and power and great ability. So we don't know exactly what he was teaching on, but obviously it was strong enough. It amazed the crowd that the amount of authority that he preached with must have been pretty powerful. Is the word I guess I was looking for. So as we continue on through the rest of this chapter, we're going to see that the authority in which he taught with, not only it was evident in how he taught, but it was also evident in his life as well. So we're gonna see that as we come upon this demon possessed man that's coming up next.
Yeah, I like this next little bit. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at. Oh, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, I didn't know if I need to move my microphone closer or not.
No, you're good. You're good. So here we are. He's teaching in the synagogue, and and there's this man. He's possessed by a spirit, and it says unclean demon. And I was trying to look and see it where I had. I can't really figure out. There was a different word. It's unclean. Obviously, um, there was another Hebrew word for the Hebrew word uh, that this was translated from. Unclean means something different, but I can't remember what the heck that was. But either way, evil spirit, a demon, possessing this man, and so it says here in my translation that by the spirit of an unclean demon, and he cried out with a loud and terrible voice, "Let us alone!" And so this demon is this evil spirit is already, just by the presence of Jesus, already recognizing his authority over the spiritual realm.
Yeah. Yeah, and mine on when the Bible, what you just said there, where he says he cried out at the top of his voice. Uh, at 34, mine says, "Ha! What do you want with us, Jesus of Nazareth?" So
Ha!
I think yours is a little bit different. Mine says, like, it's almost like he's laughing because this demon possessed man knows, the demon knows that it's Jesus, but not everybody else knows necessarily what's going on. That doesn't know that he's the Son of God yet.
Right. But this is kind of an exciting point in the whole story about Jesus, because even with all this evil in the world today and everything like that, and even then, the people weren't getting it. But
Mm-hmm.
even the evil spirits, even the demons and everything, recognized that Jesus was completely holy, and
Yeah.
that he had um, divine authority over the whole spiritual realm.
It's kind of,
So,
excuse me, it's kind of scary. The demons recognize and know Jesus more than some people do. That's not good.
but it comes to no. Well, no, it's not good, but it's not, or it concretes the fact that this is what we're talking about is true,
Right.
is
Yeah.
um it speaks to God's power, because
Yep.
Jesus has been there from the beginning. We've talked about this before.
Yep.
So why wouldn't they know who Jesus was? Because he's been there,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's what mine says. It says, "Let us alone. What business do we have in common with each other, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us?
Mm-hmm.
I know who you are, the Holy One of God."
Yep.
And that's where he kind of, that's where this evil spirit actually kind of uh, concretes that.
Yeah. This next verse, and I'll say just the first part. Jesus says, "Be quiet." And there's an exclamation point. In my mind, I wish I was there. I wish I could have seen it because I'm thinking, was Jesus saying like, like when someone says something that you don't want them to say yet, and you're like, "Shh, be quiet, dude." Like, dude, not yet. Like, you're kind of like, quietly whispering that to him, or was he like with all authority, with God's authority,
Yeah.
or was he like, "Be quiet"? Like what was that like? Was it more of a somber kind of a, "Be quiet, leave me, like, don't say that," or just a like a "Be quiet," like there was some umph behind that "Be quiet"? I'm just curious. I don't know.
Well, okay, so mine says, "But Jesus rebuked him, saying, 'Be silent.'" And then what that means is it's muzzled or gagged and come out of him. So in that, being that this we both have study Bibles, in the bottom there, rebuked, this term in Aramaic was a technical term for calling evil into submission. Jesus' authority over evil forces is clear.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he was practically, he was pretty much just calling evil. He was submissing him, if
Right.
that's a
Yeah.
word. you know
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Mine says, "Be quiet," and then it says Jesus said, "Come out of him." Then it says, then the demon threw the man down before them all and came out without injuring him. Um, which I think it's interesting that it points that out, where it says he came out without injuring the man. Like, the demon just
hmm
left and the guy didn't get hurt, which is great. But I just found that interesting as well.
Yeah, in some of the research I was doing in this, because of course we've had plenty of time to look at this. I had found something um, that it said, this was actually this was actually the demon himself testifying that Jesus is holy and pure, and it kind of I'm going to put this in here and paraphrasing, but it kind of it says the demons admitted that their wilderness temptations failed to corrupt Jesus. So it kind of that's kind of what it's implying, you know.
Yeah.
And so what does this do? This leaves all the people watching this they're amazed and they're astonished, and they start questioning on what authority, what does it say here? For with authority and power he commands the unclean spirits, and they come out. So they just can't believe it. They can't believe what they just saw.
Yeah.
And so of course this news spreads.
Yep.
So here's what I want to ask you, Marshall, is at what point, because this is funny, and you can see the only account of this is in Mark and Luke, and it's not in any of the other Gospels. But, it's funny because Luke jumps around a lot, because now in this next little section in the end of chapter 4 here, Jesus is going to get up, going to leave the synagogue and go to Simon Peter's house.
Yeah.
And so at that point, how many disciples were there to see this? Were there any?
I mean, it doesn't sound like it. There was any there present during all this, but I mean, I really don't know.
Because I'm kind of jumping ahead of ourselves, but as we get into chapter 5, we're going to go back to Jesus gathering the disciples. So it's it's weird how Luke jumps the way this is all written out.
It's like, it's prior to, I guess. If he's gathering them afterwards in chapter 5, now I would think it'd be prior to him doing a lot, except for Simon Peter. But
right.
But yeah, I in my explanation of chapter 4, verse 34 through 36, my Bible says that, obviously, like Aaron said, the people were amazed at Jesus' authority to drive out demons, evil spirits ruled by Satan, and sent to harass people, tempt them to sin, and ultimately destroy them. And it just talks about how demons are fallen angels who have joined Satan in rebellion against God. And then it goes on to say Jesus faced many demons during his time on earth, and he always exerted authority over them. So not only did the evil spirit leave this man, that Luke records that the man was not even injured, which, again, like I said before, I like the fact that it mentioned that that guy wasn't injured. But, I like the fact also says Jesus, he faced many demons during his time on earth, and he always exerted authority over him. Jesus doesn't mess around. I mean, it's just, he's always walking around with that authority. Yeah. And, when Jesus is present, the demons know it. They're not, they know he's not there to mess around. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. So for the sake of time, Marshall, I think I'm just going to kind of paraphrase this last little bit here. Mm-hmm. Jesus leaves the synagogue, and he goes to Peter's house, where his mother-in-law is suffering. She's sick,
fever,
and she's bedridden, and she's real high fever. Yep. And I'm going to let you guys go, and anybody listening, I suggest, as always, go and read through this stuff. But he did this really public. He just got done doing this public miracle, and he's getting ready to do this this miracle for Peter, and in a private setting. And so it kind of goes to show he's not doing this for fame. He's not doing. He's not just a performer, because he's gonna do this in a private setting, and he recognizes, because Peter is gonna become a disciple, that he doesn't need to be focused. He's already kind of what's the word I'm looking for, is distraught over his mother-in-law. It could cloud his, not cloud his judgment per se, but distractions.
Yeah.
It could cause a distraction in the ministry that is coming up,
Right.
to being Jesus' disciple. So Jesus is going to go here. He's going to heal Simon Peter's mother-in-law. And the cool thing about it is the fact that as soon as she's healed, as soon as he touches her, let's see, standing over her, he rebuked the fever and it left her. Okay. And so what did she do after that? What, Marshall, when you were sick and your fever breaks, you still feel groggy. You still feel
Oh
like
yeah.
laying in bed for the next day or two,
Oh
you know?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, after I'm sick, you feel, yeah, like you said, you feel poopy. You don't want to get up and do anything. You have not much energy to do anything. But and I'm sure I'm gonna steal this out of your mouth. But she gets up and she starts serving him. I mean, she just straight up just starts serving Jesus afterwards, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that. That's what I love about it is uh, she gets up with a great attitude and starts serving Jesus. And it says in my Bible at the bottom where it explains the verses with the sensitive study Bible, it says that that's Jesus gives us health so that we may serve others and serve him, and that's exactly what she did. So uh, to me, that's pretty amazing
Yep.
because it sounds like she's running a
Not
fever. She's not feeling very well.
right. And it's not only the healing of her sickness, but it's the renewed strength all at the same time from it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that we can take away from what we can take away from that happens even today, is that Jesus provides us. He is our healer and he's also our strength.
Yeah. Amen.
So anyway, so that now it's the end of the Sabbath. People can walk around and move around now as a without the limitations of the Sabbath, the laws, the law. And so people are going to start bringing Jesus all kinds of sick people and possessed people. It says here in around verse 40 that any who were sick with various diseases brought them to Jesus, and he was laying hands on each one of them, healing them, and exhibiting his authority as Messiah. So we see again here what Luke points out, that demons were also coming out of many people shouting, "You are the Son of God." But of course, like he did with the demon-possessed guy, he rebukes them. It's
Mm-hmm.
not it's not time for people to hear that quite yet. It's
Yeah.
because he's still got stuff to do. He's
Yeah.
still got miracles to perform. He's still got a message to spread, which is the main reason why he was telling them to shut your mouths.
Well, he knows what's coming, and if the word gets out too soon before he's done doing what he's got to do, that time's coming sooner, I'm sure. So he knows what he has to do, to further his ministry before his time is up on earth. Um, I wanted to go, and I don't know if you're about to go on to
Yeah.
this too, but I wanted to go on to chapter 4, verse 42, where it says, "At daybreak, Jesus went out to a solitary place." Um, Jesus needed to.
Mm-hmm.
He got up early just to get some alone time. And what I find interesting is if Jesus needed that solitude, that time of prayer and refreshment for himself, how much more true is that for us that we need that as humans? I mean, the fact that Jesus goes out and he's like, "Hey, okay, I've been doing all this healing. I've been, healing sick, get rid of demons out of people." Like God, Jesus is like, "Okay, I need a break. I need some time alone by myself." And people are looking for him. They're like, "Where'd he go?" He just kind of snuck off at daybreak and just went and got some time by himself. And I
Yeah.
think that's important to say, that we as Christians, and you really make sure we take the time to just step away, go to your quiet place and just take some time with you and God. It's really important to kind of refresh your soul and your spirit.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, Marshall, and you took it right out of my mouth, because that's exactly where I wanted to go next. And I actually have a couple of verses pulled up here that come out of Matthew, um, that goes along those same lines. And it comes out of chapter 6 in Matthew, verses 5 and 6. And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and the street corners. So these people, these hypocrites, they pray out loud and in public, so people see them and think that they're righteous and holy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it goes on to say that they may be seen by others. And he says, truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you pray, go into your room, shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret.
Yep.
And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with praying and just having that alone time with God, nobody around, nobody watching. It's perfectly okay. It's actually probably more so, because then you have a chance to, if it's, if you're in a quiet place with no distractions and you're praying and talking with God like he's right there sitting next to you, you have that opportunity to also listen to what he's saying.
Well, Aaron, think about it this way too. I'm sure you having 5 children, you're a married man, you're always going, 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 going. Well, how nice is it when you and your wife can step away from the kids? Maybe the in-laws watch the kids, and y'all can just take a break and relax and just chill and just kind of refresh yourselves and just get maybe sleep in late the next morning or whatever. It's the exact same deal. If our bodies need that kind of rest to revive and recuperate ourselves physically and mentally, how much more does our spiritual life need that as well?
Exactly. And so, but yeah, no, you hit that nail right on the head, Marshall.
Driving her home.
I know it. So that pretty much ends chapter 4. We have finally made it to chapter 5. Now we're going to see Jesus starting to gather his disciples. And of course, we're going to see another great miracle that he does. And it's kind of exciting. And let me tell you, if you haven't yet, I know you have, Marshall, but go and watch The Chosen. I think they've done a really good job, especially in that, in showing, how Peter was. I think, what was it, season 1, season 2? Either way, go watch the whole Chosen series, because they've done a really good job at showing the human side of the disciples and what. Yeah. You can kind of speculate what Peter was like with his mother-in-law in this story. I think they've done a great job with that. And even getting into our next chapter, chapter 5, and the boatload of fish,
Yeah. And they
you can kind of imagine that's a pretty close to it.
Yeah. They show that stuff really well. Even with the catching of the fish, 'cause I'm pretty sure they have a scene, and it may be in that first season. I think they've got 3 seasons now. But yeah, the whole Chosen series, like Aaron was saying, if y'all haven't watched it, if you haven't taken the time to see it, I highly advise you guys sit down for a while, take it. You can go through their app on your phone and shoot it onto your TV, or they have other places you can watch it. But take some time with your family and sit down and watch that. It's a great show. I think they really base it off what God's word says. They're not just piecing it together and adding a little bit what they think, what the Bible says. Now it's straight out of God's word. So have a look and watch it. It's a good series.
Well, it's good to go and read, go and listen to this, listen to this podcast. More importantly, go and read through what's happening first, and then go watch it, and then you can see how you can kind of get that whole picture in your mind on what's going on.
Absolutely,
it's awesome. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Marshall, I got to get going. We got small group tonight. We got 4-H meetings and all that. So, I think that about rounds us out for chapter 4, and I'll be anxious to get to chapter 5 next week. Well, it's
gonna be good.
It won't be next week. We got a special guest next week. So,
the week after.
So yeah,
but it's gonna be good. There's just like Jesus worked a miracle and provided that mixer for you guys. He's going to work some miracles in this next chapter.
I have no doubt. I hope so. All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Undaunted Pursuit podcast. Bye, guys.
See y'all later.
Hey guys, and thank you for listening to Undaunted Pursuit Podcast. Give us a good rating on iTunes, good review, leave us 5 stars, and follow us on YouTube. Click that subscription bell. Keep up to date with the newest episodes.
And don't forget to follow us on other social media outlets such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at undauntedpursuit@gmail.com and go to our website at undauntedpursuit.podbean.com.
And don't forget, if you like what you're hearing, go to Patreon, follow us on Patreon, subscribe to our channel there. There's a small tier for donations. Any help, any support, this podcast is made possible by you, the patron. We thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Scars on his hands and feet. Can't believe he was thinking about me. At the cross, he gave his life. Freedom poured from the wound on his side. I could never repay all that he gave. There is salvation in the arms of Jesus. There is forgiveness like you've never experienced. Miracles, mercy, and grace. He is the reason I'm changed. There is salvation. There is forgiveness for us. In the arms of Jesus. In the arms of Jesus. Oh, what a love he has for me. Thank God I've been set free. When death was staring me in the eyes, Jesus brought me back to life. I could never repay all that he gave. There is salvation